hole. I think this defensive line is nowhere near as good as it used to be. And I'm looking at Nick Bosa, and I'm saying to myself, Nick Bosa, this offseason, you better be at everything. I paid you the richest contract in the history of the game at that position.
Yep.
You better be at every weightlifting session. You better be at every film session. No, I'm serious.
No, I know you are.
When you
That's
pay
why I'm
someone,
laughing.
like when I give Patrick Mahomes $300 million, I know he's going to be at the facility before everyone, after everyone leaves, and he is going to set the tone for the entire organization. So I know, like, if I gave Purdy that money, like, say what you want about Purdy, right? You know, is he worth $50 million? I know if I give him the money, I feel pretty good that he's going to be.
He'll be there.
He'll be ready to roll for everything.
Yep.
All right? Nick Bosa, I better not hear a peep about you missing anything. All these what do they call it? Involuntary workouts. You better be at every single thing setting the tone. Because you know who can't come out slow this year?
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa. So as much as we're talking about Sorensen and I made a big joke about the other guy, Staley, who they brought in, I'm looking at Nick Bosa and I'm saying, hey, Nick, hey, bud, love you, pal. Last year was about getting the bag. You know what this year's about? Proving you're worth it. And setting the tone for the entire organization, because we've got a revamped defense, and I got a new guy calling plays at the head, Sorensen, and you better be there. You better be ready to go. And I'm not talking about August 1 for mini camps. No, everybody said last year, don't worry about Nick Bosa. He's going to be in great shape.
No. I'm
serious on this.
Hold on.
Nick Bosa better be at everything this offseason.
But it started with his mother. When she called Willard Dibs and said, oh, don't you worry about Nick. She told the entire 49er fan base. And look, I don't care about you not coming to training camp. So I was talking to some players at the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame about this.
Yeah, what'd they say?
I said, look, it's fine if you hold out.
Yeah, but you better show up.
But when you tell us you were working out.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're working with a D-line coach. And I'm saying to myself, and I hear from players, D-line, it's really not that sophisticated to play. Okay, you're going to learn some stunts. You're going to learn some loops. But it's really about your individual moves.
Winning one-on-one matchups.
Winning one-on-one battles, your rip moves, your swim moves, your power moves, your speed rushes, all that stuff, containing the quarterback, keeping them inside the pocket. So there is no excuse to come back and not be in shape and say, but Nick Bosa's mom, and I don't want to put her on blast. She said, don't you guys worry about Nick. He's been working out, and he's been doing 2-a-days out here in Florida. Remember that? She was basically saying Nick Bosa was ready to roll. So it gets to Pittsburgh. We have Baldy on. Baldy, I don't care if he signs Saturday night. Be on that field on Sunday at Heinz Field or whatever. What is it called now? It's not Heinz Field anymore. Acrisure, I think, Stadium. Anyway, you know me. I got to get the name of the stadium right.
Correct, Acrisure.
Acrisure Stadium. Be ready to go. And he came out. There was no talk. And then around the bye week, he's like, me not coming to training camp. And all the excuses started. And I'm not here for that.
No, that's my
Nick
point.
Bosa. I'm not here for that.
But forget the shape for just a second, because that is an element. I just am a believer in this. When you are making the most money in the organization or on the team currently or whatever, you are getting paid to set the tone. You are, directly or indirectly. That's just like, the reality is, the Patriots, and as much as we talk about Belichick, Brady set the tone. Yep. Brady set the tone for the organization. Yep. All right? Aaron Donald. You don't think Aaron Donald didn't set the tone for the Rams for a decade? He absolutely did. All right? So I'm looking at Nick Bosa, and I'm saying, you have to set the tone, and you've got to get this entire organization in line behind you. I'm not saying you got to be vocal and be something you're not, but in terms of showing up and being there every day for all of these mandatory and non-mandatory events, I better not hear a peep about you missing anything. That's just my opinion as a Niner fan.
That was my problem with Bosa last year, though. You know? Having Bosa back, or having Bosa, look, 10.5 sacks. He got some pressures. I thought he played better in the Super Bowl. It wasn't his best year.
Come on, just call it what it is.
But my problem with Bosa, it wasn't so much the play. It's him throwing the defensive coordinator under the bus left and right.
I agree.
You're blaming him. Well, if you would have got your ass to training camp, maybe you would have got to know Steve Wilks. Maybe you could have prepped Steve Wilks in August during training camp about running that defense and what you like and what you don't like. Instead, you complain all throughout the season, saying, we weren't prepared for this play. Well, I wasn't ready for this. You watch film, dog. You know what's coming down. So I'm with you with Nick Bosa. You got to set the tone.
He's one of my favorite players. Like, I want to make the record show.
Right.
I love watching Nick Bosa play. He's one of my favorite players.
Oh, he's a beast.
But again, when I think of the all-time Niners, Willis, Gore, I put Fred Warner in this category. And Bosa is one of those guys. Part of being the highest paid player on the team is you are there no matter what. Frank Gore lived at the facility.
Right.
Patrick Willis lived at the facility. Wow. So I want to see Nick Bosa do the same.
Listen, 510 Xfinity Mobile text line. He's not lying. I forgot about this.
What?
There's so much stuff happening. Remember 4 or 5 games in, Bosa said the reason he wasn't popping was because he was trying new things since he missed the practices. I do remember that. He said he was experimenting. Remember that? He said he was experimenting.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the gall to say some things like that. Experimenting with what? Not getting to the quarterback? Figuring out new ways to get blocked? To not shed a block?
Well, it's
to blow your outside containment? What are you talking about?
It's ironic because I think Baldy said he's just doing the same power move over and over again.
The same move.
What new thing was he doing?
Yeah, I don't know what he was experimenting with, but hopefully we see those new moves in 2024. Here's Nick Sorensen on the defensive line. And what he's trying to add to this 4-man pass rush.
Well, we always are looking to evolve in certain ways. I think there's things throughout the league that you see, and it's like, will this work? Will it not? But as far as what we do, our bread and butter, we're going to do that.
All right, on changes along the defensive line.
Pro sports, the NFL, it's tough. There's changes all the time, whether it's coaching or players, and we're fortunate to have a lot of these guys like Eric for a long time and did a lot of great things for us. But we did replace him and JK and some of the guys that we had last year with some guys that we're really excited about. Floyd and Malik inside, and then getting Jordan Elliott as well. Yetur Gross-Matos. We got some young guys mixed in with some veteran guys that really have performed, and we're really excited about also that we have them for a couple years. It's not like last year where we had gotten the guys that was kind of 1 year and gone, and it's someone that can get in our system with Coach Kasarik, and really just be aggressive and attack. As far as changing things, no, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to do what we do and be an attacking defense.
We'll be an attacking defense. We're going to do what we do. So the additions, Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Jayvon Hargrave. As much as we'll talk about Nick Bosa, second on that list is Jayvon Hargrave. When you get to $40 million guaranteed, and we see Philadelphia just say, basically, you can walk. We're going to draft Jalen Carter and be even better on the defensive line. Jayvon Hargrave, this is a big year for him and his 49. He'd either be remembered as Gabe Wilkins with the Green Bay Packers, or he could do something this year and become a legit pass rusher and a legit defensive tackle inside. Jayvon Hargrave did not play well last year. Let's just face it.
It sure feels like this is a 1-year deal now.
Yeah, now.
Him. It feels like
this is it.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. So, no, I think you're 100% correct on that. I just don't know, like, what are they going to do different? That's the question I have.
Schematically?
Like what?
Still running the cover 3, still running cover 1. He's still, I mean, the wide 9, you want to see an adjustment there?
I just think without Dre Greenlaw, you're just fundamentally a different team. He is so fast and he's so violent.
Can D. Winters step in?
What?
Can D. Winters step in and fill that void?
Jalen Graham, D. Winters? I don't know. Why do you keep saying specifically D. Winters?
I just remember the young man at TCU.
Yeah. I like Jalen Graham.
Fast. Kind of reminds you of Greenlaw the way he played at TCU.
Well, they've done a good job finding these random linebackers,
right.
You know.
We didn't know who Drake Greenlaw was until he popped in the Dallas game. You're like, who's it? I like this Drake Greenlaw. I'm like, Chasky, he's over pursuing everything.
Alshire,
but you could rein him in.
You know, Alshire was good too, you know, randomly. So we need speed. Oren Burks wasn't cutting it. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Dominic Flanagan fouls, they aren't cutting it.
As he said, they won't be going all out blitz with the second left and a half. That's for sure.
Who was the guy? No, who was the guy number 20 that he had to have on the team? Not 20. That's Thomas. Who was the 26 that Wilkes had to have in free agency?
Oh, Isaiah Oliver.
Oliver.
My God.
Had to have him.
Oh, my God.
Had to have him.
Oh, my God. But you know, I don't want to say I feel bad for Wilkes. He's going to be all right.
Is he working this year?
No, well, he got fired so late in the process, there ain't no jobs available. Got fired after the Super Bowl. Every job is filled up. He's going to probably be a consultant somewhere, like Mike Vrabel's a consultant in Cleveland.
Mike Vrabel, yeah.
I mean, maybe Steve Wilkes is a secondary coach consultant with the Carolina Panthers. I don't know. I'm just throwing.
He's not going back to Carolina, that's for sure.
That's done. That's done. But I did feel for Steve Wilkes because a lot of people made the point that he's a D coordinator hired who could bring his own assistants. They knew his defense. And when he said after the Minnesota game, I'm still learning this scheme. I'm not familiar with this scheme. I said, oh, boy, we're in trouble. He's done. Well, you knew he was done.
Do you have the the Chris Sims sound from last week basically saying that Kyle Shanahan is the GM?
Yes. Don't you think he is? And, by the way, not only is he the GM.
That's
Eric Crocker, remember last year, Crocky, Shanahan's the defensive coordinator. And I can't get it out of my head.
Well, this is called what it is. John Lynch is I think he has influence in the organization. I do think that he could talk Kyle out of certain things. I think he has his own football principles. But make no mistake about it, Kyle Shanahan is the Niners czar. In the way that Mike Holmgren ran Seattle for a couple of years.
This is Shanahan's baby.
And it should be. Like, you're the head coach. You're the offensive play caller. You've been wildly successful. No one is saying that, like, he's running them into the ground. Now, there might be a day where, they have back-to-back, subpar seasons, and we start having a different conversation. But, like, as of right now, he's earned a lot of this.
Yes.
And he's done a great job of turning what was a dormant organization into one of the most successful teams in the league.
So, it shouldn't be a surprise that we'll play the Chris Sims sound in just a second. But he was hired first. And he wanted to meet with John Lynch 2 weeks later. And then when they made the hire to make John Lynch the GM of the 49ers, kind of knew that Kyle would have the final say in a lot of these picks and a lot of these free agent signings. Now, how's divvied up? Who gets credit? Rand Carthon, Adam Peters, John Lynch? I have no idea. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is this is Shanahan's baby. This is Kyle Shanahan's 100%. Baby. And Chris Sims, he's been wrong a lot about the 49ers. A lot. But I kind of do believe him when he says this.
This is much respect for John Lynch, right? Big part of the organization. Now, this is the thing where I tell people this sometimes, and I still think they're shocked about this, or they don't understand this, right? Kyle Shanahan's picking the players. Kyle Shanahan is the GM of the 49ers. He has absolute total power, right? So it's not the way to take away anything from, a John Lynch or just like a Brett Veach of Kansas City. Andy Reid gets final power call, right? There's a few of those in the NFL, right? So it ain't Peters or Lynch. It's Shanahan, then it's Lynch, and then it was Peters when he was there.
So to me, Sims is not saying nothing that we didn't already know. It kind of reaffirms it, right? It's just, okay, we understand. It's Shanahan's baby, especially now with Peters now gone to Washington, Rand Carthon starting the second season with Tennessee, many others in the organization that have moved on. This has always been Shanahan's baby, and it will always be his baby. That's why I think he's the GM. I actually do think he's the defense coordinator. And maybe one day he allows somebody else to call plays because at some point we're going to start having the question, or we're going to bring up the question, is there too much on Kyle Shanahan's plate?
That's going to happen at some point. But, like, he references the Kansas City situation, and I think this is interesting. I listened to Brett Veach explain that he actually thinks it's easier to draft with Andy now than it was when they first got together. Now, they've known each other for like 25 years, okay? And they've been working together, I put air quotes, every day on the Chiefs since 2017. Mm-hmm. It should get easier over time. When you understand what another guy likes, like you and I, we've been working together for quite some time. Like, I kind of know what your wheelhouses are, and I know certain things that are going to push your buttons. You certainly know some of the things that are going to push my buttons. And I think that as John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan work together, like, you're not going to take a player that this guy is never going to like. Like, you just know that's not conducive for anyone. So, yeah, I do believe Kyle Shanahan has a ton of influence, but at the end of the day, I do think Lynch has some input on things.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, no doubt. He's right there.
I do. I don't think it's all Kyle, but I do believe at the end of the day, Kyle does have final say. No, and he should.
But I also think Kyle, he, like you just said, he values the hell out of what John Lynch sees.
Agreed.
Says.
Agreed.
He values John Lynch. He's out there. He's John Lynch's frontman. When Shanahan is sitting back at the combine saying, I'm not attending Indianapolis, it's Lynch out there doing all the footwork for the 49ers and kind of figuring out the lay of the land. He's at Patrick Mahomes' pro day as a decoy. He's that guy for Shanahan. Shanahan's like, hey, John, I need you to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like our boy Sosa when he said Al Pacino, hey, Al, it's Scarface. I need you to go do this. I need you to kill this guy. You don't get it done, you're going to get clipped. But that's what ended up happening. But come on, Pelican. I can see Shanahan basically, hey, Lynch, I need you to go visit this player. All right, I'll come along for this ride. But you know what? You go do Indianapolis. You go to the combine. Let me know what this guy does. Let me know what this guy is saying. When you go to the bar, let me know what the conversation is all about there. I could see a little bit of that happening with Shanahan and Lynch, but there's no doubt this is Shanahan's baby. He's a GM, DC, OC, head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. What's over? Now, what I want to know is Sorensen, is he going to be on the sideline? Is he going to be in the press box? How will he call plays? Where will he call plays at?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said before, for me, it's...
Where you will call plays on game day and why?
Yeah, I'll be on the field. I like being on the field. I was a player, and it feels good to be on the field, and I want to look the players in the eyes and talk to them, and I feel like that'll be the right thing.
What's your style? Is it like a solid D'Amico kind of on the sidelines? How are you on the sidelines now that you're in charge?
I don't know yet. We'll see.
We don't know yet. We'll see.
Are you serious?
What's your style, Nick? That's all we asked. Hey, do you get fired up? Do you show your veins and your neck muscles? What do you do? Because I don't know yet. You don't know what type of coach you are? Or, do you get animated? Do you fist pump? Do you slap guys in the helmet? Do you say, hell yeah? Are you jumping for joy? Are you clicking your heels like Charlie from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
We need to go watch the 2021 Jacksonville Jaguars where he was the special teams coordinator just to see how fired up he gets for the block punts and the fake punts.
Now, has anybody saw that yet?
I have not. But talk about a dumpster fire of a season to be a part of. That one with Urban Meyer.
Ernie Chavez, do your work. Somebody go out there and check out Nick Sorensen on the sideline in 2021 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. How you feel about Nick Sorensen so far?
I mean, we'll see. No, but how can anyone have a sweeping feelings on the guy? I don't know.
I know.
I was open to Steve Wilkes, but I did say to you before, hitting 3 consecutive DCs is really difficult. Hard. It's the law of averages are gonna play favor.
Did we know that Wilkes was just a different type of guy? He's a blitzer. He loves to blitz. Now I don't think his blitzes are creative. That's another conversation. Mm-hmm. And it proved to not be creative. I don't know how many times they didn't get home on the blitz. But kind of knew it's he never runs this defense. He's never ran this defense. He doesn't know anything about this. And he still took a chance on him. Then we knew he was kind of going to be the built-in scapegoat for the Super Bowl loss when the defense played their ass off in the Super Bowl. But, it is what it is. We knew that. Now we move. Nick Sorensen, first time DC.
Real quick on Steve Wilkes, as we wrap the story, he knew what he was signing up for. I mean, he got compensated. I have a hard time sitting here feeling, tremendous empathy for Steve Wilkes. What was he making? $3, $4, $5 million a year.
Empathy for him.
He knew what he was getting into.
But it was damn. We piled on him like he was the reason why we lost all these games.
No.
It glossed over a lot.
No.
Steve Wilkes took a lot of heat. He took a lot of heat last season. You know it. He took a lot of heat.
He did.
They should have just fired his ass after the Minnesota game.
Yeah, again, when you get hired by Shanahan and you're replacing D'Amico Ryans, you have to also be self-aware enough to understand this is a tough job. If we don't win the Super Bowl, someone's got to go. And Kyle ain't going nowhere. So, you kind of had to know that. Wilkes has been around long enough. He's a big boy.
He got chopped.
You know?
His defense played his ass off, but again, in overtime, you see Shanahan throwing his headset because he had to burn the timeout. Remember that? It's Steve, that was it. That was it. Yeah, he's definitely gone.
Did you see Shanahan? I'm like, of course I saw Shanahan.
I go, you see Shanahan just throw his headset?
He's mad at Wilkes. You think?
He's mad at Wilkes for the 400th time
had they lost to Jordan Love in that first play?
Oh, my gosh.
The fire on Wilkes would have been unreal. He might have been fired before he left that locker room.
Well, they did come up with 2 interceptions.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
the fourth quarter happened.
I mean,
for everyone, for Purdy, for Shanahan, for everyone.
We'll know
because look, Debo got knocked out in that game. If they lose that Green Bay game, I'm telling you,
there's fire sales.
It would have been chaos.
Debo's not a 49er.
I was watching. It was on.
Was on
NFL Network last week.
The Packer Niner game.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing.
Did you watch it again?
Boy, Purdy was really off in that game.
Hey, did you see the clips?
He was really off in that game.
For the first 3 quarters, right? Tell me they remind you of Jimmy Garoppolo.
And then Kittle had a huge drop late in that game, too. Huge drop.
We don't want to talk about that. We're not going to talk about what happened in that Green Bay game because they won.
And also,
nobody wants the truth.
Dre Greenlaw, go down.
Dude.
Oh, my God.
Hey, make sure you don't miss
He
that
had the
break,
interception, and I'm saying to myself, go down.
Dude, Purdy in that Green Bay game, he should have thrown at least 3 picks. And that's coming off the Baltimore game in which he should have thrown 7 picks. I'm not even being hyperbolic. The guy should have thrown 7 picks on Christmas night. Ain't that some stuff?